Time for Mac Geek Gab, and I've got a quick tip of the week because I was out hiking this weekend and had the All Trails app up on my phone and, of course, my watch, and then also the workout app offered to track things. And every time we looked down at our watches, my son and I both had this problem, it would show the workout app and not the All Trails app. And I was like, no, I kind of want to see the map that we have for the trail to make sure we know that we're supposed to turn right here. And we just dealt with it for the whole hike, which was fine. Of course, first world problems. But there is a solution to this one. If you go into the settings for your watch, in the watch app on your phone, and go to the app-specific settings, there is a when in session return to app toggle. And if you turn that off for, in our situation, say the workout app, it would not keep returning to the workout app. It would have left it on, in our case, All Trails. More quick tips like this and your questions answered and cool stuff found today on Mac Geek Gab 1110 for Monday, October 6th, Zero Inbox Day. Good luck with that. 2025. Woohoo! Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we share your quick tips like that. We share your cool stuff found. We share your questions. We share answers to those questions, or at least possible solutions to the problems, all in the interest of each and every one of us learning at least 5 new things every single time we get together. Our sponsors for this episode include Coda.io/MGG. We can go to get 6 months of their team plan for startups for free. Very cool service. One doc to rule them all. Highly recommended. Gusto.com/MGG, where you get 3 months free when you run your first payroll with Gusto. Shopify.com/MGG, where you can sign up for a $1 per month trial period and start selling today or upgrade your selling today. And drinkag1.com/MGG to get a free welcome kit, including a bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 Travel Packs when you first subscribe. We'll talk more about all of those in a minute here. And we'll also tell you that our monthly giveaway at macgeekgab.com/giveaway is with power photos here for the month of October. So if you don't already have a license to that, go sign up for the giveaway. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christianson.
And here in Driggs, Idaho, it's Pilot Pete. I'm at altitude, baby.
How many days have you been at altitude? That was the question I was going to ask.
We got here Saturday, and it's now recording Friday. So yeah, and sadly, we're heading back to New Hampshire tomorrow. Well, sadly and happily, but
sure.
But yeah, it's taken a little adjusting to get to. We have 2 cans. You can buy actually oxygen cans in the local grocery store here with 50 or 60 intake breaths. I only hit it once, like the second night we were here, just 2 or 3 breaths, and that felt really good. It's like, oh, that's nice. The other thing you have out here, about the same size and shape, I would highly recommend not confusing in the dark, is bear spray. Do you know what bear spray is?
Yeah, don't inhale that
by accident.
No. Yeah, that's a don't get caught right there.
Yeah. Man. I'd heard of it, but never really understood what it was because we don't have it really in New Hampshire. No, not the issue in New Hampshire. But yeah, it's a big can, like the size of a Lysol can, full of pepper spray on steroids.
Yeah.
And it's a last resort to get away from
sure.
those things that like to eat people.
Yeah. So it's fair to say that Pete's high for this episode, Adam.
Yes.
Well, this is what I wanted to get to. I mean, until recently, Pete, I would think technically you spend a good portion of your life at altitude.
I have, and even in the airplane, there's with a pressurized cabin, we're still at 5,000 or 6,000 feet. So, you're semi-acclimated.
I found it interesting when we flew to Macstock. we were at 8,000 or 9,000 feet. I think about 8,000 feet for a good stretch, for one decent stretch, for an hour or and change or whatever. And we both had our Apple Watch Ultras on, and our watches can sense our and could at the time sense our blood oxygen. Yeah, and I recall mine being much lower than yours. And you just commented, you're like, well, I'm used to it. Like, I do all the things. I know to breathe deeply and like all the little tricks that. Plus, your body's simply used to it. It was very interesting because mine was, I think, at one point down at like 90, maybe even like 88 or something, and yours was not, which was good.
I mean, even up here, 97 is low for me up here. So I get 100 readings, so that's good. But so
interesting. That's fascinating.
I have to tell you this. You guys indulge me here. The story is when you go out to the park and you're getting ready to go hiking in Yellowstone or Alaska for that matter, where there are bears, the ranger will say, put little bells on your sneakers so that bears hear you coming and go away. Carry with you the pepper spray and be on the lookout for bear scat, to which the common question is, how can you tell what's bear scat? It says, well, it has little bells in it and it smells like pepper spray.
Yes. Yes. It's a good reminder right there.
Right. Yeah. So should we move on to quick tips?
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. Well, I'll take us to our first quick tip of the week then with Joe, who writes in. So guys, I just got my new iPhone 17 Pro and was double checking all the steps to do the migration from my existing 14 Pro Max. One thing that ChatGPT showed me that I had never noticed before was to use a Lightning to USB-C connector between the two phones to do the transfer. It was noted as being the fastest approach over even connecting to the Mac because you don't have to do all the interim backups and such. Obviously, you would still want to do backups, but it doesn't really rely on those for the transfer, and it worked great. It took about 2 hours in total. So, and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. And my new iPhone should be here at home when I get home, and I will be doing it. And for mine's a C2C transfer, but that's a great tip. Much faster, I would think.
I'm lost on this. Hi, my name's Dave, and I have a question. How do you tell it to do that? Like, what is the process? Because I ask because I got my new iPhone 17 Pro in orange, and when I did the iPhone to iPhone transfer, and once it started, I plugged the cable into two of them, and the time did not really seem to change at all. There was no acknowledgement. And I recall doing this with a previous phone and failing, but it was like the first time Apple let you do it, and everybody failed. Everybody failed. Yeah. So I know it's possible. I know that I've done it before, but I thought it was like doing Migration Assistant between two Macs, where it starts wirelessly, and then if you plug them into each other, here's a bonus quick tip, it will just shift over to Thunderbolt or USB, and it will show you that on the screen, like of one or maybe even both of the Macs, so you know that this has happened. There was no indication, explicit or even sort of implicitly, that this was working. And I did use a Thunderbolt cable, so I wasn't using. I first started to use the cable that came with my iPhone. I was like, wait, this is a charging only cable. This is USB 2. I should use something that could go faster. Although I don't think my old phone could have gone faster than USB 2 now that I think about it, because the iPhone 17 doesn't have faster USB. But in any event, I'm just curious. Adam, did I vamp long enough to have you look up the answer?
The support article? Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, according to Apple, in their support article, which we'll add the link to the show notes, it appears that their recommended steps are to connect the cable to both devices first, then turn on both devices and follow on-screen instructions.
Okay. So it's got to be
like
there
powered
when
off,
you start.
have them both powered off. I don't know if that's required. I wouldn't think it's required, but the explicit instructions for all versions, whether you're going from a iPhone 15 or later, or a 14 to a 15, or a 14 and earlier to a 14, whatever.
Sure.
Every single one of them says, connect the cable to the charging ports of your previous phone and your new phone, then turn on both devices and follow the on-screen instructions.
Okay. All right. Yep. All right. So that's what I confused. I mean, in the end, it got done. It was interesting, though. I started it. I had like a band rehearsal or whatever. Then like the phone arrived. I opened it up to make sure. Yep, there it is. Got to go. And then came home and it was like, whatever, 10:30 or something. I started the transfer. Wanted to go to sleep at about midnight 30. Like by the time I got everything rolling, it was still not finished. So I was like, well, that's fine. I'll put the two iPhones on the bedside table, plugged one in and plugged my old one into, USB charging, and the new one I just put on my MagSafe, like nightstand thing. And in the morning, neither of them had been charged to full. The transfer was done. But it was very strange that at some point, both of them had stopped charging. And neither one has ever had an issue with charging before or since. So I thought that was odd. Like I woke up and, my new phone was at 42% or something. It wasn't even like I'd stopped at 80.
Wasn't even close, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was all about. Haven't seen that issue since then, but here I mention it because that's what we do on this show. And if you see anything familiar or understood why, feedback at macgeekgab.com. Keeps the conversation going.
Yeah, you heard him there. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. Tell us about your new phone transfer.
There you go. Yeah. But I like the new phone. It's fine. It's very heavy. The 17 Pro compared to the 16 not Pro. I know. I said I got the 17 Pro because of the battery life. Batteries, like they have mass. I understand, but it's two things can be true at the same time. Yep, it's very heavy. Like I'm still in my 14-day window. I'm like tempted to maybe should I go with the Air? I don't know. So
right.
Yep.
I got the blue one, and now everybody's getting the orange. I'm like, maybe I should have gotten the orange because I've heard that the blue one scratches pretty easily. So.
Oh, I thought you ordered the orange.
I was going to, and for whatever reason, I changed my mind at the last minute and pulled the trigger on the blue. So
got it. Interesting. All right. Well, there you go.
They're all nice. I looked at all of them in the Apple Store. Also, I was muted earlier. Feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Oh, thank you. That's excellent. Yes. Everything's right in the universe now.
Yeah, right. Feel like
all right.
Sheldon,
all right, let's go to Ben over at Sustainable Computing, because he says, as you may read in Mac Mondays, which is an article he does on his site, and I'm sure we'll have a link to it in the show notes at macgeekgab.com/show notes. Is that right?
It's just at macgeekgab.com. I mean, that's the cool. Show notes are always there. Yeah, you just pick your episode. But yes, we have a link to Mac Mondays from Ben.
Yeah, he says on 11/08, Pete alluded and Dave confirmed that Photos no longer offers the service of creating printed books from our pictures. However, that's not quite accurate. Actually, it's Apple who no longer offers the service. Photos retains this capability through third-party project extensions. In Photos, go to File, Create, and select a publication type. Then you can choose an extension you've already installed to handle that type, or link to the Apple Store to find one. Until next time, Ben.
Huh.
So now what I need, this is a great tip. Now what I need to know is which book service is the one to use, because if you follow the link to the App Store, there's quite a few. It looks like the two best ones, or the ones that have the two highest reviews, are Mimeo Photos and Motif, I think, are similar, and then I think Presto Photos had the best review rating so far. Also, Milk Books look pretty nice. But,
okay.
So anybody who's used, again, going back to the feedback thing, if you used any of these services and like one in particular, let me know, because I think I want to do some of these, because I haven't printed out, or I liked this idea we came up with last
same.
time, creating a collection of some of your favorite photos in a physical form that's, just sitting around. So, once a year, I think I want to make one of these with my favorite photos from the year and just start to have a collection of books on the shelf that have my favorite photos.
So you're right. There's 5 listed. You listed 3: Mimeo, Motif, Presto Photo, and then Milk Books and Friedman Print. We'll look into each of these, and if we can do a little review of one or more of them, it would be great to kind of report back. But yes, if you folks can report back too, that's even better. So, yeah. I was going to ask, how did we miss this? But I love that we missed it. That's kind of why we keep doing the show, because there's always things to learn. And I love that Apple didn't take this away. Like, that's the... Yeah.
Well, even better, they opened it up with these extensions.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's even better, that we're not just limited to what Apple decides they would want us to have, right? Yeah. Huh. All right. Yeah, we got to dig into this. This is great. It's a good time of year for it, too.
Right. Yeah. Right. How about I take us to Tim?
Yavel.
Okay. Tim writes in with a quick tip about saving your pictures from your iPhone. He says, hi, if you travel a lot and take a lot of photos on your iPhone, you might find you need a place to store those photos before you return home and back them up to your computer. Of course, the cloud is a great option, but what if you're out in the woods camping and the phone is full? And this week, personally, I can attest to the fact that there is not a coverage in the national parks. No cell phone towers out there. No data. So he says Apple sells a Lightning to USB camera adapter for $40 that is suited for that purpose. By connecting it to the USB port on your Mac, you can format the SD card. I used a 64 gig one and then attached the cable to my iPhone and selected the pictures, including the videos you want to move to the SD card. You then select share, and when presented with a list, select the SD card. The transfer is quick and easy. When the transfer is gone, you can delete the photos from your iPhone and free up all the space they took. Tim, that's a great one, Tim. I never even thought about putting it on the SD card, but yet another way to back up.
Yeah.
Take a little SD card, put all your photos on there, throw it in the safe. Do that once a year. And if the cloud ever fails, you still got your photos.
Yes. I would also recommend possibly just doing a USB-C thumb drive.
Yeah.
That was kind of where I thought this was going. I feel like that, SD cards have their purpose in life, but
sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. Yeah. I don't see why, because then you don't need 2 things on a phone that has a USB-C port, right?
Okay.
Like if you have a Lightning port on your phone, then you're going to need a dongle either way. But yeah.
Huh. It's useful for other purposes. I think it has. Is it a single adapter or does it have multiple? Is it only an SD card? I think I used to have one of the Lightning version of this. I probably still have it, as a matter of fact.
Well, I think the Lightning version is the only version that exists from Apple. Does Apple have a USB-C to camera adapter, or is it?
That I don't know, because you've got all these dongles out there, or it's a dongle, portable hub, whatever.
You're right.
It has the SD card slot in it.
Yeah.
So Lightning USB 3. Well, but hold on, let me double check.
No,
said, Lightning USB camera adapter is what he's talking about in there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just got a USB-A port and then a pass-through Lightning port on the other end is Apple's adapter. So you're still needing to connect it to your SD card reader or writer, right? Something. So yeah,
Apple does have one.
Okay, what's it called?
USB-C to SD card reader, $39.
Okay,
but you can get $10 ones, $10 or less on Amazon.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So your mileage may vary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's Amazon's choice is a $14 one that has 3 ports. It's got micro SD, regular SD, USB-A. So we'll put a link to this one in the show notes for everybody. But yeah.
I'm just looking forward now to ditching Lightning. Once my phone comes, Debbie gets my 16 with the light, with no more Lightning ports needed in the house, or cords needed in the house.
It's like heaven.
Yeah, I have no Lightning ports needed or Lightning cords needed in the house anymore. But the iPads that I use for gigging are all still Lightning. But it's fine. I mean, my drums, you can kind of see behind me, I have 3 Lightning cables so I can charge all 3 iPads at once if I need to, before a gig like I'm doing right now. And it works fine. Like, it's all very standardized. That where it's going to be a problem is when I decide to start moving, like my iPad Mini 6, when I replace that for its daily use, and then that becomes my iPad for, music. Now I've got 2 different chargers to contend with again for probably a very long time, because the things I use those iPads for don't require the latest and greatest, right? So there's an alarm going off. Oh, it's my alarm. Yeah, that's nice. Oh,
finally Dave does one. Finally,
I did that. I did that. That was
a siren coming up. I usually interrupt with Debbie's work phone, and now it's your turn, Dave.
Yeah, we record at 9 a.m. typically, and I was here in the studio prepping Gig Gab that I recorded earlier this week. I got here a little early and was like, I can get that done. Like, well, I need to set an alarm so that I don't just blow through 9 a.m. And evidently, when I told the S lady to set the alarm, I was thinking I got to be ready for 9 a.m. So I need a 9:59 a.m. alarm.
There you go.
And I did not. I needed an 8:59.
Dave. You're stuck in that linear time thing.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah. Oh, and Dan in the comments points out there are also flash drives with Lightning plugs on them. So he says SanDisk made at least one model. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So for those of you still on Lightning for a few more years, I mean, geez, those phones are going to last a while if you're not doing a show like this and upgrading every year. Because
right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think I had one of those SanDisk ones. It had a little flip around thing. I think it had both USB-C and Lightning, if I remember correctly.
Huh.
Which was kind of
interesting. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right. We have a few things to do here. We have a few more quick tips to run through here. The next thing that we want to do is tell you about our sponsors. And let's be real. Nobody starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings, managing benefits, or juggling compliance. And that's where our sponsor Gusto comes in, because they did all that. And then they can take the stress out of payroll, benefits, and HR for you so that you can focus on what matters most, like, let's say, recording a podcast or, running your tech business. Gusto is online payroll and benefits software built for small businesses. It's all-in-one, remote-friendly, and incredibly easy to use, so you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. I haven't used Gusto yet, but every time I look at it, and I've been looking, it just makes sense. From automatic payroll, tax filing, to easy direct deposits and built-in HR tools, Gusto is clearly designed for people like us who know tech, not so much with the tax codes. And it's quick to switch, and you don't pay a cent until you run your first payroll. So why not try it out? Try Gusto today at gusto.com/MGG and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/MGG. One more time, gusto.com/MGG. And our thanks to Gusto for sponsoring this episode. And, when we started this whole thing here, there was no playbook, right? It was, figure out your mics, your scripts, your website, stand up a server, figure out your logos, all while still learning or even inventing what podcasting was together with everybody who was doing it, right? Super exciting, somewhat overwhelming. And there were pieces that we had to create on our own. And I can only imagine how much simpler it would have been with our sponsor, Shopify, by our side. Because Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, powering 10% of all U.S. e-commerce, from brands like Mattel and Gymshark to the ones just getting started. I use Shopify with one of my other shows to do merch and all that stuff, and it's amazing. It's super easy. They've got beautiful templates to make your site look pro and AI tools to help with product descriptions, marketing, even your photography. It's like having your own built-in tech team and design studio in one. From inventory to international shipping, Shopify makes all of it super easy. And with tools to spread the word, email, social, and more, it's no wonder they become the platform for launching and growing businesses. So don't get caught stuck in the startup spiral. Turn your big business idea into ka-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/MGG. Go to shopify.com/MGG. One more time, shopify.com/MGG. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. All right, back to quick tips. I noticed something. I went and was looking. One of my various third-party, and I don't know that it matters, it's a third party, but one of my AirTags that I have in my car, like connected to an old pair of AirPods, every time I leave the house, it chimes. It rings. It sets off a bell. I'm like, why is this? And candidly, I still can't figure out why. Because there's nothing in there. But and maybe also because I got distracted when I went into my settings and looked at the whole, okay, is it part of the notify when left behind thing, right? Like, is there something weird? Like, it's almost notifying me when it leaves, not when it got left behind. Like, is there something weird? And I looked in there, and there were 4 listings in this, for this particular AirTag. One was my home. Perfect. One was a place in Manchester, New Hampshire. One was a place in Seabrook, New Hampshire. And one was Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia, where Lisa and I just were. I can guarantee you that this AirTag was never at Hampton Coliseum because it was in my car, and my car was at home at Logan Airport while we were in Hampton, Virginia. And then I looked, and every single one of my AirTags, including my Apple one, so this has nothing to do with whether it's Apple or third party, had the exact same exception list. I definitely didn't set this for any of them, at least not intentionally. And yet it was set for all of them. And I had to go in manually, painstakingly, and remove the 3. I don't want it to yell at me when I leave it at home, but all the other locations, there they are. I have no idea how it got set this way. I certainly didn't intend to do it. Maybe I unintentionally did it. We must acknowledge that. But I don't know. So here's my quick tip / don't get caught. Like, go check those, because you might find some surprising things like I did. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got on that one.
All right.
Kiwi
so
Graham?
We go to our favorite fruit man, right?
That's right.
Fruit man, Kiwi Graham has a tip for us. I just gave him that nickname. Sorry,
like
Kiwi.
It's stuck now.
I've just upgraded. He says, hi, guys. I've just upgraded to Tahoe and noticed when I open the Notes app that import and export for Markdown is now supported. I haven't given it a full test, so I'm not sure how well it handles complex notes. Given your many conversations about notes sharing apps and their interoperability, you may well have noticed this already, but I thought it worth pointing out as one of those slow feature improvements from Apple. Awesome. I am curious to see if it now natively supports me writing in Markdown. Is it just the import, or is it just import export, or can I actually use Markdown and then have it convert? I'm hoping it is the latter as well, but we'll find out. I haven't upgraded to Tahoe yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not on Tahoe on this Mac, but so I can't test it right here. But interesting.
He
There
may
is a
even
Mac
answer us in
Rumors. There's a Mac
Discord
Rumors
chat.
article. Oh, that's true. Yes. The end of the Mac or part of the Mac Rumors article about this says, bear in mind that Notes doesn't display Markdown syntax when you're writing. It continues to show rich text formatting as usual. The Markdown conversion happens during the import and export process, so you'll see plain text formatting only when viewing the file outside of Notes. Okay. Yeah, but that doesn't answer your question, which I thought it might. I mean, we could test it on the iPhone.
Yeah, because
Right,
I
in
have
theory.
other apps. I have other apps that support Markdown, and they kind of do this real time conversion of it, right? So,
Yep.
Ulysses is kind of a great example of that. Like it displays the formatting, after you type it or enter it in, basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It kind of converts on the fly, but the underlying
I
file is still Markdown.
I don't think it's converting on the fly because I just did 2 asterisks and then wrote "this is bold," which is what that should have done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or
I'm not seeing
one
it.
asterisk.
One is it. One is
It could
it.
be one.
Okay.
I can never remember. I get confused
All
because
right. Well, I tried both and neither worked.
Yeah.
So it is not letting me write in Markdown. At least not on my iPhone running 2601. I believe. Yeah. Whatever's current. Well, whatever my phone thought was current as of now. But yeah. So it does not do that on the phone. And it is 2601. I don't know. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
I'll have to play with it when I upgrade for sure.
Yeah. Fun. You know what? While we're here, now that we're talking about upgrading, we have a question that we were going to get to later. But Roger asked, you want to just read us Roger's question here, Pete? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, let me find it real quick. I'm sorry.
No, I'm the one calling audibles here.
Yeah.
I
See,
forget
Roger,
where I put it.
I
I don't know where I put it. If I can't find it,
I'll just type in his name here in Notes and see if it comes up. When is it safe to upgrade iOS 26 and macOS 26?
I mean, that's pretty much the question.
He said, hey guys, after listening to your latest episodes, I held off loading both iOS 26 and macOS on my devices. It's a bit like having a box of chocolates and not being able to open them. I feel your pain, Roger. Until when? When do you think is a good time to upgrade? Kind regards, Roger. And I still have it on my Mac, but
Okay.
obviously is.
And Adam, you haven't on your Mac. Have you on your phone?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The phone, my iPad, my Vision Pro, everything's been updated. I can't. My watch, I'm in a Series 6. I can't remember if it's supported or not. But yeah, I've done everything other than my Mac, and the only reason I haven't done my Mac is because I do this show on it. I do an audio podcast. I have a Mo2 interface. I need to do research on figuring out, am I going to have any audio issues? Because I can't have that. And I haven't had time to do the research. I've been doing this show. I've been working. So like it comes down to needing to do my due diligence to make sure anything that is critical to my life and working on that machine is not going to break before I upgrade. And that's the general advice I give most people. Now my phone and other devices, I know I'm making the conscious choice that there's nothing mission critical on there that if it broke, I would be super sad about. So, that's sort of how I draw that line is like, okay, what am I using this device for? What apps and functionality do I have on there? And just frankly, outside the Mac, over the years, I've just found, iOS to be pretty stable. I mean, the most often common thing I think you'll get is sort of like we talked about last time. Some people reported a few battery issues and things like that. But, I feel like iOS has generally been relatively safe. I don't remember any years where something's gone really, really sideways. The Mac is a little more, again, mission critical because I rely on that for my web development. I rely on it for audio and stuff like that. So,
as someone who is running 26 on most, but clearly not all of my devices, so I am running it on all of my iPhones and iPads that will let me. I am running it on every Mac except for the one here. So I think iOS 26 and iOS 26 is definitely ready. iPadOS 26 is fine. I've chosen to turn on the windowed mode, which really isn't good for an iPad mini. I've done it so that I can have experience with it, right? But it's not something I would actually use. And really what happens is I wind up accidentally moving something from full screen into windowed and then being like, oh yeah, I can do that. But it is a good reminder because we do this show, like how to be functional in that mode. And it's great. And I think if I had a larger screen iPad, I would absolutely love it. But I don't love it on my iPad mini for obvious reasons. It's like I want all the real estate I can take, which is fine. But it's stable. I do recommend it. And you can I could turn off the ability to go in and out of windowed mode so that didn't happen. But I just intentionally have not. As far as macOS, part of me wishes I waited until at least 26.1. And it's a large part of that is like third-party stuff. Bartender had to change everything about the way that it does stuff to manage my menu bar, to the point where on the Mac in the office, I have turned off Bartender, and I know it keeps getting better every day, but I've turned it off, and I'm just using Apple's stuff to manage what's allowed in my menu bar, and that's that. And also telling apps that just willy-nilly put things up there, and over the years I've just been like, yeah, it's totally fine, it's totally fine. Now it's like, no, it's not totally fine. I don't need that in the menu bar. I can access it another way. So that's made things a little better, but it's not just Bartender. My Mac in the office, and I know this is not a universal experience because my laptop does not, my M2 laptop is fine, not suffering from what I'm about to share here, but my M1 Mini in the office, and I don't think it has anything to do with the CPU, has been indexing since I installed macOS 26 2 weeks ago. It like just doesn't stop. Ooh. It's the media indexer D or whatever it is, media library indexer D. It seems to be going through my photo library over and over and over again. I've tried deleting caches. I've tried deleting indexes. I've tried, all the things, and thus far have only been able to get it to like back off occasionally. I did. There's a cool stuff found coming at some point from somebody reminding us of a long favorite app called App Tamer that I used here in the studio on my Intel Mac for a long time. What it does is it allows you on a process by process basis to control how much CPU any given process can take. And it's great for spotlight indexing. Like my machine, in the studio here, I made Spotlight like a very low priority so that it wouldn't just decide, hey, we're in the middle of a show. Now's a great time to take all of your CPU. This app is actually the thing when I'm sitting in my office, and anybody, if you're listening, and I hope you're not, but if somebody is, so be it.
You hope they're not listening? Wait, what?
Well, when I'm down in my office here, I hope you're listening. But when I'm in my office, I hope you're not listening, because I am very politely and with words that would make both parents and children just smile and radiate love and peace and joy. I am saying something along the lines of, hey, do you think maybe I could be the one to use my computer now? And App Tamer actually lets me do that. Nice. So it has been helpful, but it's not a solution, obviously, to this problem. It's a good thing, and I'll probably leave it on there even after this because I'd forgotten how much I liked it, and it works well with Apple Silicon and all that now. But it is the thing that is making life possible on that computer right now, which is not a great thing to say. And again, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that it's an M1 versus an M2. My M2 machine just isn't just doing this indexing constantly. So there's something wrong, and it might be at like I need to nuke and pave or some version of that with something. I don't know, but I'm hoping that this is something that's fixed in like 2602. I guess maybe that's the computer to put the beta on and then report the bug in the beta, right? Because they pay attention to those a little bit more closely, but maybe the beta fixes it. So yeah, that's it. I did learn a thing though, but I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah, and even on my laptop, it's just a little bit janky. Like, for example, when I wake my laptop from sleep, the CPUs just peg for longer than they should. Just everything kind of being like, oh, I got to wake up. Like, it's just doing more. But they don't peg for very long on the laptop. It's just like, yeah, okay, I see. It wants to do more. It wants to use more of my computer than previously, and I'm guessing that's going to get remedied. That's really what it is. It's just a little bit sluggish and wonky. Yeah.
Well, and Matthew in the comments said he wished he could roll back on both his phone and his watch. And I asked him why, and he said so you could get the one on the watch. And I noticed too is the Apple Workouts audible announcements of your running time and your splits and all that has mysteriously gone away. Which I used a lot. I really enjoyed that. And I just thought I had done something to change it. I forgot that I had upgraded to Watch OS. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Because Dave, I didn't change anything. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
That's my story and I'm stuck with it.
Yep.
Sorry if this is a dumb question, but I just don't know.
Questions.
I don't have time to look up. Is the workout assistant rolled into WatchOS, the WatchOS health app thing, right? Doesn't Apple have a new workout assistant service? And could this be a change? They're going to roll it into something like that?
To some degree. I haven't done a deep dive on it yet. I just know it was nice before to tell me, hey, you're behind your pace from yesterday. Oh, you're ahead of your pace from yesterday. And all that seems to have gone away. It still gives me my mile split, right, and that kind of thing. But
yeah.
But I haven't. But it looks like there's down in there, deep in there, you could get it to talk to you more and Workout Buddy, I think they call it.
But you have to use Siri and AI and stuff like that. So I think Matt was also saying he's not interested in using that stuff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I wonder, I had the same thought about it. Like, why would I want that? And the answer can be, it's not for you, Dave, right? Like, that's okay. But I also wonder if it's one of those features that if I were to give it a try with an open mind, I might be all in. Like focus modes, for example, because at first I was like, that's not for me. That's not for me. Now, oh my gosh, it's 100% for me. Right. Yeah. They definitely designed it for me. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And that's kind of what I'm trying to communicate here is we don't know until we try. So, yeah. I did learn something though from my, do you have a question, Adam, before we move on to what I learned? Okay, great. In digging into the media analysis D thing it was, and I'm sure still is, chewing on my photo libraries, the plurality of that is what I noticed, and it was actually I started feeding logs into ChatGPT out of frustration and desperation and all that, and it's been somewhat helpful and somewhat whatever. It's ChatGPT's troubleshooting. It gives you ideas. But it showed that it was like, well, you've got these two photos libraries. And I'm like, no, I don't. But of course, it was not wrong. So I have my main photos library, which is on an external drive. This is not going where you think it's going, folks. Unless you know exactly where it's going, then that's where it's going. But, and that one's there, and that's fine. And then on my internal drive, I have another photos library. And I thought when it started telling me this, that it was like, oh, shoot, do I still have some lingering photos library and home photos, whatever, home pictures, whatever it is? The answer is no. I have, as we all have, a syndication.photoslibrary buried in my home library folder, not for me to find. It is a 40 gigabyte library. and it contains every single photo that I've ever sent or received in messages.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you knew about this, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea that that's where it was storing all that stuff. It makes sense. Why would you recreate the wheel if you were Apple? If you want to index these photos and do all the things, well, then why not just have it happen there? So it makes sense, but I had no idea. And this problem is happening with both of them. It's just constant. Well, near as I can tell, both of them are in the index process. So,
Yeah, I mean, as a dad with a one daughter who loves sending photos and videos all the time, I learned this pretty quickly.
I knew it was taking up space on my Mac because I resemble the remark you made, but I did not know where it was. So yeah, and you can open that library and treat it like a photo. I mean, I wouldn't add things to it, but you can parse it. You can, I double clicked it.
I didn't know. That I didn't know.
Yeah, it opens right up in Photos. It's happy. I wouldn't choose to make it my iCloud Photos library or anything. That would cross the streams,
No.
Yeah, but yeah.
But it's in the home folder. I'm not seeing it in the home folder.
No, yeah, well, yes, it's in Home Library. It's
library.
Buried. Yeah. It's let me see if I can find it.
Syndication.
Home Library. It's called Syndication.photoslibrary, but it's I don't know. It's buried in there. Maybe it's in. Oh yeah, if you look in Home Library Photos, not Home Photos, but Home Library Photos Libraries. Yep, that's where it is. Yeah.
There you go. Libraries. Yeah. Syndication Photos Library, and then you just, I suppose,
how big is yours?
Click it and show package contents.
I mean,
Mine's
you could.
only 5 gigs. Wow.
Well, you probably tell it to optimize storage or not sync all your photos, or maybe that's all you've got. I don't know.
I would think I have a lot more because I also have a.
Yes. Yes.
We all have daughters.
That's all it needs to be said. That's right.
I'll need to double check my settings because mine's actually tiny, and I know I've got tons of stuff in there. But maybe I have my messages set up in a certain way where it's not.
You might not be syncing your messages to your Mac.
That's entirely possible.
Right? If you go into the Messages app and go to Settings and then iMessage, there is Enable Messages in Cloud. I think that would be part of this, right? Syncing everything down.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I'm going to play with it.
Yeah. So,
Just
anyway.
delete the file. You're fine. What could go wrong?
I have enabled messages.
Yeah, I would not
Don't-
mess
don't
with
do
this.
that. Just
Right.
kidding. Yeah.
Right. But it is there. That is where that stuff is stored. So that's the thing that's the thing I learned. But yeah. So anyway, that's what I have to say about that. We have more.
Yeah.
Is there more to say on this topic before we move on? Because we need to decide. So everybody cast your votes. We need to decide whether we're jumping straight to questions or doing cool stuff found. The next thing that we're going to do is talk about our sponsors. So you know how we're always saying here on MGG, it's good to know what normal looks like so you can know when something isn't. Well, that's part of why I've started using AG1 from drinkag1.com/MGG. It's become part of my morning routine, and I like it. I love that AG1 is formulated not just to include vitamins and probiotics, but to ensure my body actually absorbs them. One scoop once a day, and boom, I'm getting 75 plus nutrients, 5 probiotic strains, and no need for a multivitamin or separate supplements. It even helps me start my day with hydration because you put the powder in the thing, you shake it, and you drink it. I feel great right away with all that hydration. It's start my day. It's awesome, right? It's a micro habit that's supporting my whole body health every day. And for me, that's worth it. AG1 Next Gen is helping to raise the standard with multiple gold standard clinical trials. In an industry where not everybody invests heavily in research, they go to great lengths to continually invest in rigorous, peer-reviewed clinical trials. I love that. Head to drinkag1.com/MGG to get a free welcome kit, including a bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 travel packs when you first subscribe. That's drinkag1.com/MGG. And our thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this episode. And you know how it feels when your ideas are flowing, but your tools are slowing you down? That's one of the things I love about using our sponsor, Coda. I discovered it while working with one of my other businesses. We use it there. And it's one of those tools I didn't know I needed until I did. So Coda brings your docs, your spreadsheets, your databases, even AI all together in one place. And now with Coda Brain, powered by Grammarly, it's like having an ultra-organized assistant who's also your best editor and project manager all in one. So whether you're managing a startup, your team's podcast workflow, for example, or you just want to clean up the chaos across all your tools, Coda connects with Salesforce, Jira, Figma, Asana, and more, so you're building smarter systems instead of fighting fragmented ones. Really, this thing's built for geeks like us, so don't get caught using clunky tools. Head over to coda.io/MGG right now and get 6 months of the team plan for startups for free. That's coda.io/MGG and get 6 months of the team plan for free. Coda.io/MGG. And our sincere thanks to Coda for sponsoring this episode. And all right, guys, are we moving to Cool Stuff Found? Are we moving to Don't Get Caught? All right, Cool Stuff Found it is. Let's go. Great. That's you, Adam. That's Alex, I think, right?
I'm already on deck.
I got a quick question. Dave, I didn't realize you were doing a live read because I went off to look at something else. Did you guys hear me blowing my nose or did you mute me?
Oh, yeah. No. That's why I texted you earlier that we were going to be doing a live read for that one, but that's okay. Yep.
Sorry, everyone.
It's all good.
The more, well, now that you pointed it out, now everybody knows Pete, so great.
Yeah, but it was not as loud as you think.
Okay, well, good. I'm just glad I didn't go to the head.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen, rest in peace. When I do Gig Gab for musicians, sometimes people ask me on the show, can I swear? Like they'll ask in the pre-show or whatever, what I tell them is, yes, do whatever you want. It's as easy to check a box. It's a show for musicians. I generally don't swear on that show, but I understand it's the natural thing for, it's very normal with musicians, especially, it's fine. But what I tell them is, if you decide to swear, just roll with it. Or if you catch yourself swearing unintentionally, roll with it. If you stop and ask, is it, oh, shoot, I swore. And then I'm like, now it's a segment, which is exactly what's happened with your blowing your nose here. Exactly. It's a segment.
My apologies, everyone. I assumed I was muted because I had gone off to find my next read.
Yep, there you go.
Have myself on top. So,
there you go.
I got caught.
Yes.
Let's get uncaught and do some quick tips. I got Quinn here. It says, one of you likely has already seen this new idea from Quinn Nelson, but just in case not, he has a clever shortcut for the Shortcuts app consisting of just a single action, open URL, that can save us quite considerable efforts of opening settings of the current app in settings. Unlike previous efforts, it's not tied to one specific app, meaning it opens settings dynamically of any app that is currently in the foreground. The intricate URL that needs to be put into that action is this, and then he has a link there. So I'm sure we'll have this in the show notes. Now we can add this shortcut to the control center via the plus button above the cellular network's name, and the hack is just one swipe tap away. In case you'd like a direct sharing link to the shortcut, just search for Quinn Nelson shortcut.
I put a link to this in the show notes. This is a game changer. The problem that it solves is when you're in an app and you want to adjust its settings, but the settings are in the settings app in iOS, but you've got to go to settings, scroll all the way down to apps, and then you've got this massive list of apps and you've got to scroll through it to find the right settings for that app. What this does is you pull down Control Center, activate that shortcut while you're in the app. So, if you're in, exactly. And it brings you to the iOS settings pane for that app, one fell swoop. And it's super easy. And you don't need to know anything about shortcuts to make it happen, because Quinn Nelson posted this on X, and we put a link in the show notes to Quinn's post on X that will then just link you to the shortcut, and you're good to go. It's a game changer. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I buried the lead by not reading the title here, I guess.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, I don't know. It was.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, do I want this? Is this worth putting in the show, really? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is worth putting on my iPhone. Like, yeah, 100% yes. Yeah. So it's one of those things, you won't use it like every hour of every day, but when you use it, you'll be like, oh yeah, look at that. I got away with something. So, yep. Yeah, it's pretty good the way that it all just kind of works. You know, you're in an app, and you swipe down, you hit the little thing, and then boom, it brings you to the settings for that app without even thinking about it. Boom. It's just brilliant. So it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Excellent.
You up for the next one, Pete?
I am. Attention to orders. Marine Scott Southard sent this one in. Good morning, Marine. Spotify premium listeners, the wait is finally over. Lossless audio is here. It's rolling out now in over 50 markets in the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and Australia. With Lossless, you can stream nearly every track in 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz FLAC, giving you CD quality sound with all the detail the artists intended. So that is cool, because I know, Dave, you have in the past moaned and groaned about the compression standard that Spotify has used. And Scott did several tests with all of his equipment, including Sonos. We'll share on the show notes the Spotify link, the Sonos link, and a Grok link about the best way to listen to it. Listen to lossless audio. Apple still seems to be a little better. They're using a little bit higher compression. I'm not sure my ears could tell the difference in lossless between Apple and lossless.
Well, I mean, Spotify. Lossless is lossless. I mean, Apple's using a higher, sometimes using a higher sample rate. Correct. Yeah. Not compression rate. I just wanted to make the distinction there.
Yeah. But I'll tell you the other thing, he showed me a picture of his setup and his Apple TV. He said the lossless on his Apple TV with his Sonos and I forget now the receiver that he had. He said it was off the charts amazing. So,
all right.
Yeah. But lossless audio, I turned mine on in Spotify. You go to set a profile. If you're on iOS, you click your little profile on the top left, go to settings and privacy, and then media quality. And you can set it to go to lossless on Wi-Fi only or Wi-Fi and cellular. And the only thing I wish it would do for me is compare side by side. I'd love to hear both side by side. And I guess I could go back and forth, but I'd want to do it side by side, and I haven't found a way to do that yet, because I would want to go, how much different is that for me? Problem is, 40 years being around jet engines is...
Well, there's that. Yep.
Yeah. But it sounds richer, I think. It sounds a little richer.
There's a lot of confirmation bias that happens to all of us here. I dug into this pretty deeply about a decade and a half ago. But there is, or at least was, an app for the Mac. I was looking for it here and couldn't find it, called ABX Tester, which let me load 2 audio files, and you could play them back to back and have it randomly pick one. And comparing Apple's 256K AAC at the time, and this is again 10, 15 years ago, and the lossless version of the same tracks, I, generally speaking, had a lot of difficulty telling any difference between the two of them. I learned on some tracks how to hear the artifacts of compression. The easiest place for me to, like, most music is mastered in a way that like you won't hear those artifacts. It like there's no space in the music is really what it is. And I don't say that judgmentally. It's just kind of how that works. That's modern mastering. Going back to Dave Brubeck album called Time Out, which has the famous song Take 5 on it. It was recorded in a church with ribbon mics, and you can really hear the church throughout. It's instrumental music, it's jazz. And the song Kathy's Waltz is a very, there's a lot of air in that song. And I learned that if I counted when a certain reverb, like natural reverb of the room tail started, I could tell if we were on the lossless one or the AAC by how long the tail went. Now, did this, and even knowing this, does this impact my enjoyment of the music? No. But I can at least tell, like, yes, reliably I can say this is one, this is the other. But like with 256K AAC and most music, you're not going to hear a difference. With Spotify, I don't know what they were doing. There was like quality settings or something that they were just setting with even their 320K MP3s that just, I don't know, that lost some of the life of it. That was pretty easy for me to tell the difference. But yeah, that ABX tester would be the app to use.
Okay.
If it's there. Yeah, if it's still there.
Yeah.
So,
but, yeah, but thanks to Spotify for finally rolling out lossless.
Yeah, and a couple of months ago when we first had, or when we most recently had this conversation, Andy had sent in a note about going into those media quality settings and changing some things about it, because there's like some auto adjust and such that, and the settings are different now than they were then, because now you do have lossless in there, which they did not before, obviously. But there were some ways of tweaking it to make it suck less. Yeah. But and now this adds to that. So yeah, it's great.
And Scott actually noted, he says his receiver in his rack connected to the Apple TV is the Sony via HDMI 2.1 STR AZ300ES. 3000 ES, sorry.
All right.
So, yeah. So for those of you who want one, go get one of those.
Sure. Exactly.
I'm sure Sony's giving those away.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a nice setup, Scott. Thank you for the photo. It was like, man, now I'm jealous. But I'm doing my basement into a home theater, so.
Oh, there you go. Fun. Yeah, fun.
I just use a HomePod like a troglodyte.
Like a caveman.
I'm sure it sounds great. Yeah. Do you use I'll take us on this tangent. I'll bite. Do you use with your TV setup, you're using a HomePod, is that right? As like for your TV audio?
I use an old Sonos soundbar, and
got it.
I have a Sonos system that I bought when I sold a domain and came into some extra cash.
I remember that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So now I will ask all of you listening, for those of you who, and I really hope I'm not becoming a thief of your joy by highlighting something that you're potentially missing, but we're here. So for those of you using two HomePods in a stereo setup for the audio for your television, do you notice issues with not having a center channel? And this might be one of those things where, and again, this is a term of efficiency, where ignorance is bliss. Like if you've never had a center channel, you might not realize what you're missing, and that might be a good thing, right? If you're happy with what you have, sorry, but also don't change it. But I'm just curious if this is something you've noticed, or you are in a scenario where you've experienced a center channel before and now you don't have one because you're using this HomePod setup or whatever. I'm curious what that's like for you, because I know there are ways of sort of faking a center channel with beamforming audio, and I know the HomePod can do all of that. So I'm really just curious what everybody's experience is. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. Yeah.
Cool. All right, I got something fun for you guys. My favorite weather app for years has been Carrot Weather. And I guess quick synopsis for people who don't know, Carrot Weather is this app. It has kind of its own personality to it. The developer does a great job doing it. It's got, of course, all your standard weather features, but there's a bunch of fun stuff built into the app. The number one thing is just this personality. So when you get the weather, Carrot will give you some sort of, like phrase or something like that. And you can adjust the personality, everything from I think it starts out as professional to friendly, all the way up to overkill. I have mine set at homicidal because I like the abuse. So Carrot will kind of abuse you. But the developer does a great job of adding a bunch of fun features. And I was just checking this because I was curious because I'm a premium subscriber, which allows you to do a lot more customization of the app and stuff like that. So it's a subscription, but there's a free version of the app and it does have all this fun stuff. So the developer is constantly adding new things. And most recently, they added a musical, Carrot the Musical, with great tracks like What the F Is This? Make It Rain, Penguins Assemble, Big Fat Morons, Oops, I Blew It All Up. And the way it works is every day that you open the app, you unlock a new track from the musical. So, and the songs are just hilarious and funny. I think they're probably available elsewhere. It looks like we had a link to a YouTube channel, so you might be able to get them other ways. They're not super protected, but it was another nice surprise. I opened the app and it's like, hey, we're launching Carrot the Musical, and so now when I open it up, I get a new song every day, and they're actually really well done. I got to find out how or who they're doing them with, but. So
there's an article about the who are the singers for the Carrot the Musical, and the YouTube playlist that I found is published by Carrot, so it is the official playlist. Yeah.
So you can listen to it there, or I highly recommend the app. It's just fun.
Yeah,
the ability to take something as boring potentially as a weather app and just make it entertaining. The developer has just done an excellent job, and I love all the Carrot apps. They also I use the Carrot Health apps too, like. They have a weight app for, doing your weigh-ins, and, you get abused when you, so it's not for everybody, but, part of it is a little bit of shaming when your, weight's going up and that sort of stuff. So it's just, but it's all tongue in cheek and done very good.
Yeah.
Humor and fun. I like having a little humor in my life, especially these days.
Here at Mac Geek Gab, we don't personality shame based on what you choose for your Carrot weather personality.
You can go friendly. I mean, if you want friendly, you can have friendly.
Of course.
I like the abuse. I think it's hilarious.
Like I said, we don't personality shame here. So, all right, where are we going next? Are we sticking with cool stuff found, or should we answer a question?
Anywhere.
We can go anywhere.
Let's do some questions.
All right, great. Yeah. Should we go to Joe?
We're going to Joe?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Make sure I get the right Joe here.
Yeah.
Joe has a great question. He says, hi, guys. My mother-in-law is 93 years old. Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. We should all be so lucky.
Yeah.
And was never very good with her MacBook, but she had a small stroke almost a year ago and now is incapable of doing much of anything with it. The worst is that because she can't use her 1Password anymore, or any password manager for that matter, she is constantly clicking forgot password and resetting her passwords. Oh no. What software do you suggest we use to access and control her computer remotely? She's in Massachusetts and we're in Florida. ChatGPT is suggesting Splashtop Business Access and Remote PC. What do you think?
So that would work. But here's the deal. We know that you're going to have some kind of third-party software running, right? Because that's going to be more reliable and a little safer than just port forwarding for Apple's screen sharing. If you were on the same network, you could use Apple's screen sharing and remote desktop from Apple if you own that, and it would work great. That's what I use here, and it is super reliable. But you're going to have some third-party software running, right? Knowing that, and knowing that Apple's screen sharing is reliable and doesn't have issues if you're on one operating system and they're on the other, and updating and all that stuff, my advice is Tailscale. It's what I would use. In fact, it is what I use because it's so reliable and it's free. So you don't have to go and buy Splashtop. You don't have to do anything. All you need to do, and I realize this part might seem somewhat daunting, but it's really no different than installing any other app, is install Tailscale on your computer, if you don't already, and you'll create your own tailnet that links all of your devices. But it really walks you through that. It was easy when we first did it 5 years ago. It's way easier now. But install Tailscale. It'll walk you through creating a tailnet. What a tailnet does is any of your computers that are running Tailscale logged into your account will just see each other no matter where they are in the world. Could be on the same network, could be, on the other side of the planet. Anywhere with internet access, you can see each other. So do that first. Then install Tailscale on your mother-in-law's computer and invite her via her email address to your tailnet. Again, this is something you would do once you have Tailscale installed. And you can specifically invite her to see certain devices and not others, and all of that stuff. You can give her the access that you want. And once you do that, then she's connected to Tailscale and has that bridge to your tailnet, which means you can see her computer anytime you want. And I know everything I described sounds a little complex, but it really isn't.
It's not. It's amazing.
Yeah. And Joe wrote back and said he did it. He asked me actually if I had time to help him set it up. And this week, as I mentioned, I did not. But Joe wrote me back and he's like, yeah, we got Tailscale set up. It works great. Like, yeah, I know. I love it. And there were a lot of emails about Tailscale for whatever reason this week. And they warmed my heart because so many people are just using it and not with the low friction that it brings. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I had something weird go on, and Andrew brings up in the comments.
You?
Yeah, I know. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
But for some reason, Tailscale was not logged in on my Mac Mini, and I needed it. And I'm like, crud, what do I do? And Andrew mentioned it in the, I think it was YouTube comments, but he says, jump desktop. And I still have that legacy from when it was available in SetApp, which it is no longer. So I used Jump Desktop to get in there and turn Tailscale back on, and all was good to go. But yeah, Tailscale makes it so nice that you can. And when they changed the subnet over, I don't think it used to be in the original point where you could use your 192.168 to get to your machines or whatever subnet network
you can,
but now you can.
Well, it always was there, but you have to, and it's still there, but not automatically. You have to turn on subnet routing to do things like that.
I didn't remember doing that, but
yep.
Once you mentioned that, I went, oh yeah, and that works great. Now I can get to my Mini two ways.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. I mean, Tailscale can be this very complex thing. But the first step into it, which is extremely functional, it is very straightforward. So, Are you using Tailscale, Adam, or not?
No. I don't really have to do much remote stuff, but I do have a question.
Go.
Because this has come up in this exact scenario with me and my mother, because you can also initiate screen sharing, as Kiwi Graham points out in the Discord chat, from the Messages app and also from FaceTime. But my thing is I'm pretty sure when you do it that way, it's literally the person on the other end has to initiate it, and it is only them sharing their screen. Whereas I think what we're talking about here, right, is the screen sharing app on the Mac, which actually acts more like remote control, right? Can't you?
Yes.
You can actually control the other person's
You
device.
can control the other person's device when it's initiated via messages as well. They have to give you permission for that, but they also have to give you permission to connect in the first place, which is...
That's what I struggle with my mom. It's like getting her to actually find the button.
Right.
And she doesn't have a Mac, so we're dealing with iOS. So in my case, and I am correct with iOS, you cannot control the screen like Apple
I believe that's right.
can. I don't know why they will not enable that. It drives me batty because they obviously have the technology, because you call up Apple support and they say, can I take control of your screen? Sure. And boom, they're controlling your iOS device. So why that is not allowed, drives me batty.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Yeah. But yeah, you can. The issue that I've had anyway is twofold. One, that process, like you mentioned, of getting someone to click the button. But even when they do, it's more than half of the time it works, but it's not 100% of the time that it works. There's some whatever negotiation it's trying to do with routers and firewalls and all that stuff. It doesn't always succeed, even though there's no good reason for it to fail. So but the big one is, for what we're talking about here, is they have to be there for you to take control of their screen.
Right.
And sometimes that's not the case. So that's where Tailscale is great. As long as the computer is on, yeah, you're good to go. So, yeah.
And Kiwi Graham says his last Apple support call, they would only use a pointer on his screen, but they wouldn't actually control his device. I'd even accept that.
Sure, yeah. Right. Go here. Yeah.
Because the number of times is like, the two things that happens with my mom is like, do you see this thing on your screen? No, I don't see that. Do you see this thing on your screen? No, I don't see that. I see this. Don't click on that. I already clicked it. It's just like this constant comedy of errors. It's like, no, that's not the right thing. Don't. It's like, do not touch anything. Just look at your screen. It's like,
yeah.
And then the number of times is like, do you see this? No. Do you see this? No. I see this. Tap on it. And then we get back to that screen. She's like, oh, I see it now.
I see it now. Yep. Yeah, but that's normal. That's like the human condition is the problem. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then I try to get her to do the share screen thing, and that has never worked. It's like, do you see this button to share your screen? No. It's like,
No. That's right. Yep. All right, we are. I think we're done, guys. I mean, we're at 116. If we were to start the next question now, we're going to be at be at one. Given how verbose and tangentialized we've been today, I think we got to call it. I think so. I didn't realize
all the things. I mean,
we did
almost all of them.
Yeah, we hit. Yeah, we didn't hit the don't get caught. That's okay. Well,
next time.
What do you say? You want to do this next week?
But I got caught. I'll be here next week. You know what? I may be. I may not.
I hope you're
here
here
and get my daughter and bring her home.
Oh, well, I hope you're here next week because, I mean, if you're not, we will still have 3, but I want to have 4 because it's show 11:11.
11:11. I will make every effort to make it happen, even if I have to stay an extra few hours in a hotel room.
Well, and if we need to juggle the schedule around, we can talk about that because. At least as the schedule shows currently, we have a special guest coming for 11:11.
Does he know?
He does. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to have John F. Braun join us for episode 11:11 because it's a fun, like it's the biggest palindrome number we've ever had on this show, and I don't want to. It might be. It might remain that way. I don't. It will. At the very least, it will remain that way for decades.
Yes.
Would be because 2222 would be the next one, and like that's we know how far away that is because
sure I'd be here.
Right. Same. like I don't know. Hold
on. Let me check my calendar to see if I'm here.
Yeah.
That weekend.
I don't know. Like we'll see. There's no plans to like. End it soon, but there's not. I don't know.
I'll be in my mid-80s. I'm still going to be running every day. Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah. Is that what it works out to?
It's another 20 years.
It would be exactly another 20 years because that's how long it took us to get to this number.
Yeah, I'll still be here.
Start doing
yeah. 11:11, right? Divided by
52.
52. Yeah, it's 21 right. It's 21 and change because
we did some extra shows.
There were those years where premium meant John and I were doing extra episodes 2 a week at times. So that accelerated our path here. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll decide to do that. Here's an idea. Apple actually suggested this idea to me. So I'll throw it out, and I'm throwing it out to you guys. As much as like it's something we 3 would need to decide, but maybe listener feedback will help. Apple was like, we find that there's a huge uptick in premium demand when you offer extra content. He's like, I know you don't want to have to go out of your way to make extra content, but what about just doing like, a Mac Geek Gab After Dark here and there that you only put out to the thing, and it's just like a peek into your lives and this, that, and the other thing. So we can chew on that idea. Yeah.
I'm on board if we can drink and swear. No, I'm just kidding.
We can. The rules are ours to make, Adam. Right. We could
exactly.
It could be that, right? Like
After dark are we talking?
I would want to talk about the swearing, like how necessary is it? Right? Like that, but having a drink like that would kind of be part of it. Like I think the kind of the looser, less. Not that this episode was super regimented to an agenda or anything. But
hold on, let me get my Kleenex.
Yeah. All right. Let us know. Feedback at macgeekgab.com. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for make sure you go sign up for the giveaway, macgeekgab.com/giveaway for Power Photos. Thanks to CashFly for providing all the bandwidth to get the show from us to you. If you haven't had enough of us, you can have more of Adam at the Debut Film Podcast, more of Pete at So There I Was, and more of me at Gig Gab and Business Brain. Links are in the show notes for all of that and more. What do we say? I don't know.
I would say
when Dave's doing a live ad.
Like a boogie in a tissue, don't get caught.
But you can have a boogie in your shoes, right?
Oh, there you go.
Later.